There's a character in this film named Peter. And because this is a vampire movie, it really makes me think of What We Do in the Shadows, their version of Peter. Peter!
Peter. Okay.
Abigail. After a group of criminals kidnap the ballerina daughter of a powerful underworld figure, they retreat to an isolated mansion unaware that their ransom victim that they are locked inside with is no normal little girl.
I think she knows something.
Guys.
She's a bloody vampire! I don't know why I went Australian accent with that.
What is that? You sound like a leprechaun.
Slap the bass.
All I really knew about this was that she was a ballerina vampire that is stuck in a house with some criminals. And that's all I really knew about the film. I didn't know who was in it. So when the credits were rolling at the beginning and listing off who's in the film, I was like, holy crap. Melissa Barrera, Kevin Durant, Catherine Newton, Dan Stevens, the Beast himself.
Now I know she'll never leave me.
Giancarlo Esposito, Breaking Bad, baby. Angus Cloud, and the Matilda star herself, Alicia Weir as the titular Abigail. And I was like, wow, okay, let's see what this movie's gonna be. Then I saw it was directed by Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillett, who are the directors of Scream 5, 6, and more importantly, Ready or Not. I'm excited for this film now. And they did not let me down. I thought this is a really engaging, fun, ridiculous, campy action horror film that had me laughing, had me like just smiling and giggling the whole movie. It was entertaining to watch. If you're expecting something like, you know, a really thoughtful movie, you come to the wrong place. Of course, this is a B horror film kind of thing. It is not meant to be artistic. It's not trying to be thoughtful. It's probably actually their most thought-provoking movie that they've done out of, you know, Ready or Not and the Scream films. This is probably just the most straightforward. We're just making a vampire movie. It's going to be bloody fun. Yes, pun intended. And enjoy the film. And that's sort of the feel and tone to the movie right away is established. And as long as you expect that sort of B horror film, you're gonna have a good time with this movie. Like I already mentioned, the cast is absolutely unreal. Hands down though, the performance that stood out from this film is by Alicia Weir, who is so good as the titular role of Abigail. She is hilarious at times, she is charming at times, and she is definitely scary in this film. She plays all of these range of emotions, and she has to be this innocent, charming girl when she wants to be, you know, this victim that we feel sorry for, and then on a dime, she's got to change it to this horrifying, scary, intriguing monster. And then at other times she plays this subtle sort of playing games with her food and the humans in the house, and you just see her go through all these different emotions. Like, she plays it so well. What a performance. Bravo. The rest of the cast is so good, and they're having a lot of fun, and they're playing these really over-the-top ridiculous characters, but it totally works for the tone and pacing of this film. One of the best things about this movie is the directors themselves. They obviously know how to create horror and tension and fear in the audience as you go around a corner, or, you know, you think something's behind you. They just know how to build that tension really well. This is still a really well done horror film. To me, it's one of the better horror films of this year so far that I've seen. Awesome visual directors, and they just know how to have a lot of fun in the genre, paying homage to the films that came before them, but while still adding their tone and their spice and their take on that genre. The comedy is great. I was laughing the entire film. Like, I was howling at parts. There was a lot of really intentionally funny moments, but there was also some what I would think are unintentionally funny moments in this film where I was the only one laughing in the theater, but I was I love it. Like a ballerina vampire, you know, doing a balancing act on the banister as she runs towards her next victim with her teeth out, and she's doing a ballet to Swan Queen or whatever that song is from ballet.
The ballet? Woohoo!
I was so surprised at how much I laughed in this movie. And I love when horror films can toe that line and play back and forth between that comedy genre and the horror genre, and weave their way in between both seamlessly. I think they do a great job with this film. But even just like the beginning of the movie where you're introducing Abigail, and she's practicing her ballet like in a big theater, having a rehearsal, and there's like certain shots where the way she's dancing and the way she moves, and then the camera angles from like high above, or like a bird's eye view shot, and she like looks up and she's doing her spinning. She looks creepy. Really good filmmaking, especially in that first 5 minutes, and some of the shots there were great. Let's talk about a couple of things that pull this movie down for me. The first one, and the biggest one, is the character development and the character writing in this film. There are so many characters in this movie and names that either have meaning or don't have meaning, and I don't want to spoil anything, but like there's just a lot of names being thrown at us, and they can't use the real names, so we get these code names, and there's like 7 or 8 characters right at the top of the movie that they don't talk about ever. Like it takes like 20-25 minutes into the film to even start to get to know these characters a little bit. And then they have their real names and their fake names, and then they're talking about characters that are not on screen, or we don't ever get introduced to, or they don't come back until later on in the film, like much later. And it's just a lot of names and information being thrown at you. This crime family with this warlord, but this person works for them. That person did this, and this person was in New York, and this person was there. And it's like, whoa.
What's going on?
And there's just a lot of unclarity with the relationships and the characters being introduced in this film. That was a bit confusing and a little, what? Who's this? So that's definitely a downfall of the film. While these characters are super fun and funny and entertaining, you don't really have a drive with them, even compared to like Ready or Not or Scream, where they do build the characters in those movies really well, where you are cheering for them. This movie, you're kind of like, all right, you almost want the vampire to win. Maybe that's just me being a psycho.
I'm a psycho.
But when the movie is focused on Abigail having fun with her human food puppets, and she's trying to destroy everyone in the house, and it's her against these humans, this movie really rocks. But especially in the third act of the film, where another threat is introduced into the film, but I just kind of went, oh, all right, so this is where we're going with this plot line.
Dude, I don't get it. I don't get it either.
There's a bunch of obvious moments in this film. It's a little bit predictable with its scares in this film. And also part of that was this third act threat being introduced, where I kept going, no, please don't do it. And they did do it. And I was like, it stumbles a bit. And the ending, But generally, like 75 to 80% of this film is so good. So much fun. If you love this bloody horror genre and you love vampire films and you just want to have a good time in the theater, this is definitely the movie to check out. Before I give my final thoughts on this film, make sure you click that like button and subscribe to my channel down below. Also, while you're down there, don't forget to comment, what did you think of Abigail? Were you a fan of this horror film? What is your favorite vampire movie? Let me know in the comments down below. A really exciting and funny addition to the vampire horror genre. Abigail takes flight and does its job. So I'm gonna go ahead and give Abigail a B. Thank you so much, everyone, for checking out Mr. Teach Film Preach. Come back and check out some other video reviews, such as Civil War, Funky Man, and Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. And we'll see you on the next film. Stay focused, stay awesome, and as always, let's get taught.